Because of things like social media, a human's attention span is now shorter than a goldfish. Goldfish have an attention span of 9 seconds. The attention span of a human is now 8 seconds. Here's one of the big reasons why. All of you can focus well, but that ability to focus was taken from you. Taken by social media. Here's how. Your brain can only focus on a maximum of 2 things at a time. It functions best when you only focus on really one thing. For most people. Social media puts things in your face every second. Some people think that they can focus on 6 things at a time because your brain makes it seem that way. What really is happening is your brain is switching its focus from one thing to another constantly. Boom, 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 boom. Look at this, look at this, look at this. While your brain is switching its attention in such a short notice, it makes it seem like you are focusing on everything at the same time. But you're not. On top of that, you have everything at your fingertips in an instant. It's there. You want to listen to a song, watch a movie, see a celebrity, get a dopamine hit. You can in an instant, like right now. But instant gratification and switching focus are destroying one of your best assets. It's destroying it. And that asset is your attention span. Some of you may ask, how is constantly switching focus bad? Your brain is just switching focus from one thing to another and back again really fast. What is so bad about that? When you do that, you are training your brain to constantly do that. Which means even when you are off social media, your brain is still doing that because you trained it to do that. Even if you don't want to, even if you didn't want to. You literally trained yourself to do that. And it's not your fault. Of course, how much time you spend is your choice, and you suffer the consequences, but that is not your fault. It's social media. It's set up in that way. It's set up so that you constantly switch your attention because that makes it more exciting. It's always something new. In the real world, things move slower, so now you can't concentrate on them. All of a sudden, that real world activity that used to be so fun now seems boring because it's slow in comparison to social media apps. So as a result, you go back onto social media because everything else it's too slow. It's just too slow for you. They have literally tapped into your psychology and trained you to use social media all of the time because everything else is so boring in comparison. They have manipulated you. Do you like to be manipulated? They've manipulated you to use their systems. They have hacked into your brain, made you worship them. Don't let them. Why would you let them? This sort of instant gratification also makes you stay in your limbic brain. That part of the brain is responsible for processing emotions. But being in that state of mind means your brain isn't using its prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for problem solving, future planning, and personality development. Remember that last one. So when you are confronted with an issue in real life or something hard, you don't know how to deal with it because you haven't used that part of the brain very often. You haven't used it enough. So you go back on social media as really a short-term solution and distraction. But the problems never go away. That's so many people. I see it. It's just they're like, I have so many issues in my life. I'm dealing with so many problems. Everything feels like it's piling on because they can't deal with the issues. Because they've spent so much time on social media that they haven't been able to problem solve. They don't know how to. And no one's really taught them how to. The problems never go away, they just get worse. One place where this is evident is in schools. Kids now can't focus on the lesson for more than a couple of seconds, then it's back to their phones. Of course, it's not everyone. But I see it every day. If they can't focus on school, then they can't learn, and their grades suffer, and they don't gain any knowledge. Even if you don't agree with the school system, you don't think it's good, that applies to everything too. At books, anything, any form of knowledge. Okay, some of you ask, oh, well, maybe if kids only use it to respond to a Snapchat message from a friend, it's not that bad. In a study conducted at the Carnegie Mellon University's Computer Interaction Lab, 136 students took a test. The results could totally change how you view this. Honestly, they totally could. Some had to switch their phones off, while others would receive text messages every so often during the test. These were the results. After the test, they found that the students who received text messages intermittently performed an average of 20% worse. 20% worse. That means when you are taking a test and responding to text messages, Snapchat messages, etc., anything, any sort of work, you will perform 20% worse than you would have. To any teachers out there, that means if your student is on their phone, even just to look at a text message, they will perform worse. To those of you who may be still in school, this will hurt your grades, knowledge, and more importantly, for some of you, your future. And that totally depends on what you're going to do. But the bottom line is anything in life, even if it's not relating to school, you still need the ability to focus to even I lose it. It's like doing this, recording a video, writing out what I'm going to say, the general gist of it. There are times when I can't focus on that. No, I use social media too. I had a YouTube addiction. I got worse at focusing, and it's hard to train yourself to do that. But for anything in life, even if you don't think school is important, if you don't, it doesn't matter what your view is, focus is huge in life. It's huge. How can you be successful in anything if you can't focus? I remember in an algebra class I took sophomore year, my teacher told all the students that their phones would have to be put in pouches at the corner of the room. There was quite a reaction. All the complaining, whatever, but everybody ended up doing it. The effects were literally immediate. Like, immediately, the effects were there. Everyone was focusing better, more open to conversation, and understood things better. For that quarter, as a class, we performed well on tests and assignments. The next quarter, the rule was less strict. Now kids could keep their phones in their backpacks. Some resisted, but most, would sneak a look at their phone to see if they missed a social media post or a message. That quarter, everyone did worse than before. And people are less open to talk. Social media and lowering your attention span isn't just ruining your ability to learn, grow, and focus. It is hurting your mental health. A test known as the Depression Anxiety Stress Scale was used to determine amounts of distress. The results of the group showed a strong link between high social media use and its lowering your attention span to bad mental health. In fact, the instant gratification of social media actually activates your reward center and gives you the equivalent effect of using drugs. Imagine that. The equivalent of taking drugs. What happens when... You use it so much, you get like these dopamine hits. And each time, you need more. That's kind of what it is with drugs. You keep coming back to it because you want it again. But each time the high isn't as good. Eventually you're taking drugs just to get back to that normal point. That's what social media is doing. That's why it's doing crap to mental health. Not only that, but it also prevents you from taking time to get something you want. Don't you think this will have a negative effect instead of a positive? Don't you think that this would make the thing you are wanting and getting instantly less valuable? If I was to just give you a brand new Lamborghini, like, oh my word, and say I don't want it anymore, not saying I have one, I mean, you'd like it. It's a Lamborghini. But you wouldn't appreciate it to the level if you actually worked for it, to get the money for it, and went and bought it yourself. I've gotten just things, like gifts. Stuff for free. It's like I like it, but I don't value it as much. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten something that I wanted after I earned up and worked for it, and it felt just great. I had a feeling of satisfaction, and I was finally able to get it. We aren't meant to get things we want instantaneously. We are meant to work at it. It doesn't matter what you believe. You can believe in Christianity and anything. It all points back to this. If you believe, evolution and anything, it's like this is anything you believe. It just points to this. We're meant to work for things, because doing that makes you more patient and not impatient and unable to focus, like instant gratification on social media. But what is the problem with maybe not being able to focus on just one thing? When you try to switch focus from one task to another, you can't do any of those tasks very well. But when you focus on just one task and really work at it, you do it very well. But your brain is trained to switch focus. So that means you can't do a good job on really anything you do. It's happened with me. Like, I've cut out social media use and I'm still dealing with these effects. Literally, it's like, okay, I work on something. Oh, I want to listen to music. I want to do this. Oh, I want to check this really quick. Oh, I'll just check this. It'll be all right. It'll be fine. And I have totally lost the train of thought. It's gone. Of course, I mean, it's not entirely your fault, but it's something you can change. You have control over that. Your future is out there. It's bright and sure waiting for you. All you have to do is just focus. I wrote a script runs. I said, I'm going to focus on only this, nothing else. For 2 hours, I literally didn't think of anything else. It was just this. I forced myself to focus on nothing else. I didn't have any distractions. Focused on writing out, sort of script. And I got it done. It felt great afterwards. Maybe try focusing on a single task like I did. And it's going to be hard because it didn't happen immediately for me either. Focus on a single task. Don't do anything else until you've completed that task. I know deep down inside all of you really care about your future. And maybe in different ways and maybe through different lenses. Being able to use your brain to its fullest capacity is huge. So don't you think that getting off social media, limiting the use, would help you use its full capacity? If you don't want to because you think that you won't be able to contact your friends, use messages. I've survived on that, and honestly, I'm more happy that way. I can focus on things like the beauty of nature, look at wildlife all around me, and listen as the birds chirp. It's more pleasurable than what social media will ever truly give you. Because that's instant gratification, not happiness. I can tell the difference. I did this stuff too. Used to spend whole days on pretty much nothing but YouTube. This satisfaction and happiness will happen to you. And I'm still not perfect. I struggle with things too, but this helped me, and it will help you too. So I challenge all of you. Get out and take a walk in nature. Pay attention to what makes it beautiful, and I guarantee you'll feel more happy. Not artificial and instant, but true happiness. Spread the knowledge and be good to yourself.